So welcome back to part 3 of the creativity series, and today's 6. Now, as you go about your meditation today, the thing I'd really like you to focus on is this idea of not being separate from the visualization. It's very tempting with visualization, even when you're using the form of your own body to visualize, to imagine that this is something different from who you are. But if you think about the nature of this visualization, in that moment, that is your mind, that is your body in that moment of visualization. And it's subtle difference, but to be able to meditate with that sense of confidence that in that moment, in that space of clarity and awareness, of spaciousness, that is your mind. It's not something that you're projecting or imagining or cultivating. That is it. It's just that usually we're so caught up in other aspects of life that we're not really aware of it. So sitting with that kind of confidence, knowing that the visualization is not something separate from yourself, I think will really start to change the way in which the meditation flows, but also the way in which you relate to it. But just take a moment now just to settle the mind by just getting comfortable in the chair, on the floor, and just beginning today's meditation by taking a few nice big deep breaths. And with the next out breath, just gently closing the eyes as you become more aware of the other physical senses. And now just gently bringing the attention back to the body. Just noticing how the body's feeling, and in your own time, starting at the top of the head, just scanning down, noticing both the physical sensations and also your instinctive or reactive tendency towards those feelings. Noticing if there's any particular areas of resistance or attachment. Remember, at the same time, as always, just using this opportunity to become more aware of the emotional quality of mind as well. So actually noticing how you're feeling, that underlying mood present in the mind right now. Noticing what your motivation is for your meditation today. Noticing whether that's in line with what we're actually trying to do with the meditation. Remembering just what an impact, what a difference this meditation can make for yourself, but also for those people around you as well. Before you begin to focus the mind in any particular way, just remembering that this space of creativity is something innate. It's not something that you need to try to create or project. It's more a case of reminding yourself of what that feels like, what that space feels like. But for now, just take a couple of moments just to focus the attention on the breath. Become more aware of that rising and falling sensation. And if you find it helpful, after a little while, you can just count the breaths as they pass. So continuing to follow the breath in that way. Now just noticing how quite naturally, quite spontaneously, that pinprick of light appears in the middle of the chest, in the middle of the body. with all the intensity and brightness of sunlight, and full of that potential for creativity and spontaneity. You watch as it just slowly begins to expand, very slowly at first, expanding in every direction. Bringing with it a real sense of warmth, softness that sort of starts to dissolve any discomfort in the body. It begins to soften the mind. Continues to expand through the torso. And into the arms and the legs. Up into the neck and the head. So expanding in every single possible direction. Until the entire body is completely full. That warm, bright, spacious quality. And this isn't a projection. This is reminding yourself of a very natural, innate state. At times as you're focusing on that image, the mind may well wander off. If it does, it's no problem. In that moment, you just gently bring the attention back again to that image, sitting there with a quiet confidence. Just trusting that space of creativity. And with that in mind, now just gently focusing the attention in that way. And with the next out breath now, just allowing the boundaries of the body just to soften a little bit. And that sense of spaciousness, like just to continue to expand in every direction. More than just the body now, the entire space around you. And with that image in mind, just leaving the visualization behind now. Just letting the mind wander off and do whatever it wants to do. And now just bringing the attention back to the body, back to that feeling of weight pressing against a chair, and just back into the other physical senses as you become more aware of the environment in which you're sat right now. And when you're ready, you can just gently open the eyes. As always, take a moment just to be clear about where you're going, what you're going to do next. To be clear about how you're feeling right now, this particular moment in time. When you've done that and you feel ready, you can just sit back in the chair and have a good stretch. And I think actually it's useful, even though we're quite far along on the Headspace journey now, just to look at some of the simpler kind of parts of the practice. And actually this end part where we just sort of bring the mind back into the body, back into the senses and slowly unwind. By now this should feel quite sort of natural, quite easy, and not take a particularly long time. I think to begin with, there's a real separation between time of non-meditation and time of meditation. And after the meditation, we can feel quite heavy, almost as though we've sort of gone into a different state or something. And it takes a bit of time to sort of come round again. But now, actually, this far into the journey, I would hope that it feels very easy, very light. And there's not such a strong separation between sort of the meditation component and the mindfulness component. So we'll leave it